Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well today. Today, we're going to talk about if you have had the thought or think or believe that you've already tried everything and that you cannot lose weight. This is the episode for you. When you hear the phrase, diets don't work, I really do agree with this. I've probably said it multiple times, but only in the sense when we are in diet mentality, when we are having thoughts of restriction or we're punishing ourselves in order to get weight off. Basically, doing the things that you are not willing to nor can make yourself do long term, right? So over restriction, cutting out food and drink you really enjoy. This sort of diet mentality dieting does not work. That is true. And this leads to periods of overeating, yo-yo dieting, that lifelong focus on food and weight. But in a sense, all diets really do work in the short term if they are followed to a T. So you will lose weight following a specific diet plan as long as you follow it. The problem is that we don't keep it off for good, right? So you're going to lose weight in the short term following whatever fad diet it is at the time, and you will lose it quickly, but most of us, and we know this through research, will regain it back plus some. And this was not your original goal, right? Typically, our original goal was to lose the weight and keep it off forever, never having to lose it again. So that's the true goal, the real goal when it comes to weight loss, or even if you're not looking at weight loss, but trying to create new healthy habits, right? The idea is to create those new healthy habits and keep them going for the rest of our lives. That's the true goal. So we want to lose the weight for good, but we enter into a plan or a diet with knowing, while we know who we are, we know what our lives are like, but if we really sit down and think about this, think about ourselves, right? Our lives, our lifestyle. Most diets are not something we are going to be able to do forever. And this is what it would take to lose the weight on these diet plans and keep it off. You have to be able to follow that diet plan forever. So for example, I start a very restrictive diet and I get the 30 pounds off by never eating cookies or chocolate, or if I'm someone who really enjoys a glass of wine or two and I cut out the wine altogether, am I willing to never, ever eat or drink a glass of wine again? Am I willing to never, ever eat a cookie or a piece of chocolate again? Is that really how I want to live? Or, the one that I've heard a lot in the last few years, I'm going to go keto, right? Even though I totally love carbs, like some of my favorite foods are carbs, but yes, I'm going keto because I know it works. I'm going to lose all the weight. So I go keto for a month, I drop all the weight, and then it's like, okay, well, you're not going to be able to eat a carb again. Is that really how you want to live your life? Now, I will say there are some people who, for medical reasons, going keto is a great thing, and they absolutely are willing to do that, eat that way for the rest of their lives, because not doing it, I'm thinking about people with seizures and things like that, where we know the keto diet can really help in that regard. So then maybe they are willing to eat that way. But for most of us who are just looking to lose weight, you really have to think about, am I willing to not eat another carb again? So these are things you really want to think about before starting on another diet trend. We will often sacrifice our well-being all for the sake of being in a hurry, for rushing, for not being patient, because we think being thinner sooner is going to make life better. And so in that framework, that is where I believe diets do not work. Most diets that you follow are not going to be something sustainable long term. Now, if you have a diet plan, you're going to start and you look at it and you're like, yeah, I could do this for the rest of my life. Absolutely no problem. Then that's when you know you have a plan that is going to work, that will be long term. But you have to be really honest with yourself when looking at all those things. And again, that idea, we will often sacrifice our own well-being for the sake of being in a hurry, for rushing. This is often, I deal with this often with clients, that just wanting the weight off now, and not being able, and then working to get into the frame of mind of, okay, but if I can be patient here, that's when the weight's going to come off and be able to stay off permanently. So we really do not want to sacrifice our well-being just to be in a hurry, for rushing, just because we have this thought that being thinner sooner is going to make life better. That's usually not true, actually. Usually, as quickly as we become thin, there's going to be weeks where it's really nice to put on different clothes and like you're feeling really good and you're getting all the compliments, but eventually that does go to the wayside, right? And then real life just comes up again. So it's, in my mind, if this is a goal to live in this healthy body, you want it to be for the rest of your life, and you want it to be done in a way that is sustainable and where you can still enjoy your life, where you can still have times of enjoying your favorite foods or your drink. I just feel like for most of us, it would be impossible to cut those things out for the rest of our lives, because there is pleasure and enjoyment in that. Or I think of things like people who get really restrictive on diets, and so they don't go out to eat anymore with family and friends, or they won't go over to someone's house to share a dinner because it's not on their plan. I just really believe that's not even healthy, right? Like, we want to commune with others. We want to have those times of sitting down to grandma's homemade spaghetti or whatever it is. Like, I really believe those moments in our life, even with food, are very important and in our health and well-being. And so understanding how to have a plan of eating, or a way of eating or having food where we're not emotionally using food, and there are times where we do enjoy the pleasure of food, maybe even when we're not hungry, those sorts of things. So point being, you really want to look at, if you're trying to lose weight and you're looking at diet plans, you really have to make sure it is something that you're willing to do for the rest of your life. So when we have the thought, I've already tried everything and nothing works, we're looking at it like, I've done all the diets, I've worked with a trainer, I worked with a nutritionist, I've even done the pills, I've, done the surgery. So we're talking about a lot of actions there, the things we do to try to lose weight. But usually we're not talking about the thought work or the deeper work to solve the issue forever. So typically the one thing that anyone trying to lose weight, yo-yo dieting, losing and gaining over a lifetime, typically the one thing they have not tried is working on their brain, working on the thoughts, the relationship with themselves. And really, it is my belief, and I have my own experience as well as many weight loss coaching clients over the years, that this is true. There's also lots of science and research behind this. The deeper work, the thought work, the work in regards to creating a healthy relationship with yourself is what actually works for long-term weight loss. I hope you are finding something useful from these episodes and this podcast. And if so, please share it with someone else in your life you feel it could benefit. This podcast is also now monetized. So if you really feel you are getting a lot from it and want to help keep it going, please go to the episode show notes. You can just scroll down from wherever you're listening. You'll see a description of the episode, And then you will see it says support this podcast. And then there's a link you can click on. You can click on that link, and that's where you can support the podcast. Even the smallest donation, like 99 cents, helps to keep me producing the podcast. And to those of you who have donated, I really, really appreciate the support. I really do appreciate all of you listening and sharing the space with me. Again, just very thankful for all of you. This is so important because if you have ever thought, or if you've ever had the thought, I've tried all the things, then your thought really is that weight loss is impossible for you because you haven't been successful in the past. You've tried all the things in the past and you weren't able to do them. Therefore, you now have this belief that you can't lose weight, that losing weight is impossible for you. And when you believe losing weight is impossible for you, that belief is not a fact, right? Permanent weight loss is absolutely available to you. It's available to every single body. So if you're noticing right now that you're having a bunch of buts come up, but I'm on this medication, or but I have this condition, or but I'm in menopause, or but I'm too old, these things might make having permanent weight loss a little bit harder or slower compared to a 20-year-old with a raging metabolism and no health issues. But my point is, no matter the issues, permanent weight loss, as well as a fulfilling, loving, no stress relationship with yourself is possible, but it is up to you to start thinking that way and creating a new belief for yourself that permanent weight loss is possible. And this is a belief you can choose to start to incorporate into your conscious thinking system. Taking the time, thinking specific thoughts on purpose to create this belief is really needed in order to begin and to move through gaining permanent weight loss and that healthy relationship with yourself. And when I say healthy relationship with yourself, I don't just mean a healthy, loving, respectful relationship with your body, although that does happen along the way. But I'm talking about with your deeper self, a healthy relationship with all aspects of who you are, with you as a deeper soul, a loving, safe relationship with your authentic self, that deeper part of you, that true you. This relationship is where the magic happens. When you have a loving, healthy, respectful, worthy feeling relationship with your own self, then whatever goals you set for yourself or whatever changes you want to make all of a sudden becomes so much easier. If I have a respectful, loving relationship with myself and I want to lose 20 pounds for whatever reasons, to be more mobile, to be more healthy, because I respect myself, I talk to myself in loving, encouraging ways, it's easy for me to implement behaviors around food that are respectful to me, to my body. I don't overeat as much. I don't use food to manage emotions because I've learned how to use my own words to myself within my relationship with myself, my thoughts, to manage my emotions. Using my thoughts and words with myself, that relationship with myself to encourage and love myself, which lead to more calm feelings, more peace feelings in my emotional life, which then lead to less of a need to use food or drink to manage these emotions. And this is how this deeper process works. Now, again, and I've said this a lot before, you don't need to have this spot on healthy relationship with yourself first in order to start to lose the weight. You can start to lose weight as you work on this new relationship with yourself. You can do them together. As you start to work on your thoughts and practice acceptance of your habit thoughts, as well as learning the skill of shifting out of your habit thoughts, pivoting them, you can do both together. But for permanent weight loss, for that food freedom, you have to do the thought work, the relationship work with yourself alongside losing the weight. When you have the thought, if you have the thought, it's not possible for me to lose weight, or the thought, I've tried everything and nothing works, we know that your thoughts determine how you feel, your emotions. So when you have those thoughts, they create the feelings that have those attached chemical cocktails that create the sensations in your body, which then in turn determine the actions you take or don't take. And these actions are what create your results. So when you're thinking the thoughts and believing the belief, I've already tried everything and it doesn't work, it's not possible for me to lose weight, you create a lack of success. So, and I'm not saying this is even failure, right? You're just not creating that success for yourself. When we think those things, we believe it's a fact, but the truth is it's just a thought. It's not a fact. It is a decision. We've decided to believe that it's true, but it's actually not the fact. It's not true. So think about this, okay? If you're having a hard time with this, like, no, it's really, really true. I want you to think about this. What would you think if I said, if you lose 4 pounds in 8 weeks, so that's half a pound a week, you would be paid $100,000. If that were true, so you're going to lose 4 pounds in 8 weeks and you're going to get $100,000, do you think you could lose 4 pounds in 8 weeks? Most people, when I pose this question to them, answer that yes. They could lose 4 pounds in 8 weeks if they were going to get paid $100,000. My guess is, as you're thinking about that, most of you are thinking, yes, I could make myself lose 4 pounds in 8 weeks if I was going to get $100,000, or maybe make it $1 million. And this little thought experiment proves that the belief or thought, I can't lose weight, or I've tried everything and my body won't lose weight, is not a fact. When the stakes are different, our beliefs change. So your job is to practice believing that this is possible for you. And yes, it is a practice. This is the thought work. So using our thoughts to create a belief in order to shift our feelings so that we create for ourselves feelings that motor our actions, so that the actions create the results for us that we want. This is how we do it, right? It starts with our thoughts. It's a skill, and so it does need to be practiced. Now, some of us can be so ingrained in the belief that we can't lose weight or nothing works for us that our brain is literally in a ingrained pattern of thought. This is what I call habit thoughts. That it really is such a struggle to even tell yourself that weight loss is possible, that you just can't even think the thought on purpose without feeling so uncomfortable. And this is what I would offer you here. I would offer you to practice a thought that is more neutral, but that can still start to shift your deep belief system. And that would be something like, I am figuring out how to create the belief in myself that permanent weight loss is possible for me. So if you're feeling resistance coming up in regards to when I'm suggesting thinking new thoughts on purpose to create a new belief, then practice the neutral thought for a while first. I am figuring out how to create the belief in myself that permanent weight loss is possible for me. These thoughts carry and create such different feelings and emotions with them than the thoughts, losing weight is impossible for me. When you start to think weight loss is possible for me, the feelings you experience are so much lighter, more hopeful, less stressful, more open, more curious. And these are the feelings you need in order to motor and drive your behaviors that will give you your permanent results. We can practice believing that this is possible for you, and that you can have what you want when it comes to your body and weight loss, as well as other areas of your life as well. So relationships you want to have, the job you want, the home environment you want, the body you want. But the next step is to also practice that getting it can be easy and comfortable for you. And I'm sure many of you are feeling lots of resistance to that statement. And I totally get it because I've had all the thoughts. Well, yeah, of course I could do it, but at what expense? I'll be miserable. I'll be starving and moody. So sure, I could have a healthy body and a healthy relationship with food and myself, but to do the work to get there, I'd be so drained of energy, so depressed, so overworked, that it's just not worth all the work. But I'm telling you that that is not a fact. And practicing the thought that I can have this and it can be easy and it can be comfortable, we have to practice believing and thinking that there does not need to be a downside to having what we want, because my friends, there does not have to be a trade-off. If you could be comfortable and happy and lose weight and keep it off forever, or if you had to lose weight and be hungry all the time and low energy and crabby and miss out on all the fun stuff, never eat anything that tastes good ever again, I'm just telling you both choices are available. It's just that most of us think that the only available choice is the first one, being miserable. But I'm telling you, it's not true. And now you might be thinking that I'm crazy, but I would just offer you that you could at least play with this idea a little bit right now, that maybe I could be right on this. So just thinking on this for a bit the next few days. What if this was true? What if you could have weight loss permanently in a very useful and comfortable way? Then what would you do? Because if this is true, then the belief that, I can't make it work is not true. So if you hold the belief, I cannot lose weight, this is a limiting belief. So think about challenging this limiting belief. Ask yourself, what if these other possibilities are actually the truth, are actually fact? Then what? Can you challenge your limiting belief and get to a space of at least openness and curiosity? And this is really what it takes to get started on permanent weight loss or a permanent health journey. And maybe you don't have weight to lose, but you have disordered eating patterns with food or drink that keep you feeling confined or locked up because of their power in your life. For those of you out there, this also comes down to staying open to a belief system that permanent change is absolutely possible. Freedom around food, drink, your body is absolutely possible. When we tell ourselves that nothing works, it's also in a way, because I've been there, this permission slip to go and overeat. And yeah, no judgment for me because I have so been there. But this is how that belief that nothing works, I can't lose weight, creates more overeating or more over drinking, and then again limits the possibility of weight loss. Our thoughts, our beliefs matter in regards to our results in life. So, we want to just try to poke some holes in our limiting belief systems to get us thinking about our thinking and how we might start to shift it just a little to create some new feelings of curiosity, maybe even willingness, that then motor our actions, create new behaviors that can give us new results. Belief is where all this starts, and working to think in a way to create a belief that permanent weight loss is possible for me, that you can have what you want and there doesn't have to be a downside, and it can be comfortable and easy. This is the foundation of creating that permanent weight loss and the freedom around food. Without this, it really makes the process so much harder. And this really is why my program includes this thought work alongside strategies like for weight loss through behavior. But the biggie is learning how to figure out what your limiting beliefs are, how to start to create a healthy relationship with yourself, how to talk to yourself in a new way that creates a new belief system that then supports your goals and dreams and can make them happen in a much easier and simpler way. If you want more detail on how I work online with my weight loss coaching clients, or if you're interested in life coaching or weight loss coaching sessions over the phone, head to my website where there are just lots and lots of details for you, and it'll give you a sense of who I am and if the partnership between the two of us might be a good fit, all those things. So you can head over there. That's at heatherheynen.com, and Heynen is spelled Heynen. I really hope you found something useful from this episode, and if so, would you please share it with anyone else you think might find it useful? Also, any positive reviews or ratings you can give this podcast from whatever platform you are listening to really does help me be able to keep this content coming weekly to you. Most of all, I just really appreciate you listening and sharing this space with me, and we will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services.